Okay, let's get started. Thank you for joining our webinar today. I'm Ben Victorica with KnowledgeNet, and I'm joined here by Alan Van Tassel. Our goal today is to provide you an overview of how AI is driving results in the sales arena. Alan is going to be providing you first his experience and his resources with Sales Xceleration, and then I'll provide you an overview and demonstration of KnowledgeNet. If you have any questions during our webinar today, please put them down at the bottom, and then we'll answer them all here in the next 20 minutes or so. So Alan, please tell us about yourself and your experience.
Yeah, thank you, Ben, and thank you for helping host this event. So my name is Alan Van Tassel. The name of my company is Velocity Sales, and I'm powered or aligned with a company called Sales Xceleration. And what I do, Ben, is I work with business owners, founders, leaders, CEOs, specifically in business sizes somewhere from 2 to 50 million in general is the range. Generally, these businesses are founder-led sales organizations, sometimes second, third generation sales. One of the common things that I find with this type of customer is that they tend to have a lack of understanding of how to put sales structure together. They're very passionate about what they do. They help grow their business. They're probably the most successful salespeople, but not a real scalable model. And so we'll talk a little bit more about that. But I bring over 30 years of experience, and I'm an outsourced fractional sales leader. I guess that's one label to wrap around it. And what I really do is I help business owners get their lives back. You know, what we really do, myself and another 200 advisors or close to that number around the country is, as I mentioned, we work with business owners, founders, sales leaders. What we help put together a sales structure that's scalable and sustainable that can help grow profitable revenue. It's really broken down into these areas that you see: sales infrastructure, development of the sales strategy and the implementation of proper tools and processes in your teams that you need to help generate those sales. I provide outsourced sales management. Some businesses hire me to just put in sales infrastructure, help build the house or the foundation. We'll talk a little bit more about that later. Others hire me to be their outsourced sales leader and manage the team. They just don't want to do it anymore, or they had an event that happened inside their business where they might have a gap of leadership in the area of sales. And I'm a lot more tactical than just strategy. I usually roll up my sleeves and become part of the leadership team of the organization I work for. And it goes on into things including recruiting and hiring, training and coaching. And we do an awful good job on helping assess environments, sales assessments. So those are the primary areas that I focus on. There's a lot more detail to it. We'll talk more about it, as I mentioned. But thank you, Ben. That's really what we focus on. What we really want to talk about today is how can AI be used to assist selling efforts. And I'll just come off slide for a minute. I'm not going to be the guy that tells anybody that sales is easy. It's hard. I'm not going to be the guy that tells everybody or anybody that AI is going to do the job for them. It's not. What AI can do is it can help you be more efficient at what you do if you know how to use it. And one of the really, really cool tools that I became familiar with is what we're going to talk about today, which is KnowledgeNet AI. So, what are some possible ways that you might use this type of technology? Prospecting. How can you more quickly leverage warm leads? And so we'll spend some time talking about how the tool helps connect people or how it helps you find paths into people you really want to talk to. Deeper dives into LinkedIn profiles, content creation, listening and note-taking, lead qualification, competitor analysis, the types of things you see listed on the screen. AI, again, it's not going to do the job for you. It's going to be a tool that helps you be much more efficient at the job and help you stay ahead of your competitor and help you win more deals.
Perfect, Alan. I know when you work with customers, you help them at the beginning with their ideal customer profile. Let's go over some of this part of it.
And it's so important. And for all of you on the call or on the webinar today, it may resonate. If you skip this step, it makes the job a lot more challenging. So we're talking about the ideal customer profile. What are we talking about when we say ideal client profile, ICP? You hear different acronyms out there, but really what you're doing is you're trying to get a laser focus and target in on those people that you really want to do business with. If you don't take the time to do this exercise, you're going to have salespeople out selling or competing or chasing deals that really don't match your defined ideal client profile, and they're not going to be good customers at the end of the day. So, what are the number of employees? Are they public or private? And what kind of annual sales revenue do they have? What are the different situational factors or issues that they're faced with? What geographic location are they located in? Who are the specific job titles that you really want to be calling on? What we're going to show you today with KnowledgeNet AI is the ability to help find the right people after you've identified them and defined them. So this step's critically important. It's missed by many. You have to do the exercise. We've got a really cool workshop that we take our clients through that helps us figure this out. And then how do you target those ideal client profiles once you've identified them? Well, typical approach, salespeople spend a lot of hours searching through LinkedIn. You might be paying significant money a year on tools such as Zoom Info. You might be spending money on marketing campaigns, Google Ads and Facebooks and things of that nature. You might be sending out email blasts to prospects, and you might even be hiring full-time employees as SDRs and paying them significant money for outsourced SDR services, or you might even be outsourcing your SDR services. That's the typical approach. How can you make that a lot more effective, a lot more efficient? We're going to show you.
Excellent, Alan. And the results are showing that even with all of this expense and effort, sending out hundreds or thousands of emails with a generic message, even sequenced emails, is getting less than 0.25% response. And SDRs and BDRs that are making cold calls are also getting less than 1% of a return. This concept of warm introductions and referrals has really been talked in sales for decades. But how is there a way to surface these in a quick way? And that's what we want to show you with KnowledgeNet. How KnowledgeNet delivers 1,000 prioritized warm referrals in 10 business days. That's the example that I'm going to walk you through. And our goal is to help you grow your business. That's our mission. That's our focus. But while we're growing your business, we're also helping you reduce costs. There's technology that's embedded in KnowledgeNet, like 280 million contacts, no need for LinkedIn Navigator, ChatGPT, the paid version is embedded in KnowledgeNet, and personality profiles as well. So you can leverage these to grow your business and leverage your relationships. So the way that it works is we create a secure organization, a KnowledgeNet organization for your company, and we invite your users, the sales team. The sales team syncs their email and their LinkedIn connections to that KnowledgeNet organization, developing a company-wide relationship brain. We automatically generate that. And then if you're looking at a particular account, you'll see in great detail all of the last interactions, the strength of the relationships here indicated by the thickness of the line, also in descending order of relationships, and who are potentially the side relationship. Anytime that someone has sent an email, maybe from KnowledgeNet to Citicorp and copied in BP or JP Morgan, all of these connections are created showing you visually how your business is being interacted. So that's part of how KnowledgeNet creates relationships. Now, how do you leverage them? So your sales team would be using KnowledgeNet wherever they're working. So it's not a new tool that they have to use. It complements and integrates with your CRM, with LinkedIn, with using a browser. I'll show you here in a demo in just a minute, just starting with a Chrome extension. The goal here is to leverage your relationships. So when you find that prospect, someone that meets your ideal customer profile and you want to do business with them, KnowledgeNet will light a path to who in your network can provide you with a warm introduction. And with a click of a button, you can package up that relationship intelligence so that you can ask your referring customer to provide you with that introduction automatically. And when that person sets up that meeting for you and you're about to meet with that prospect, we add personality profiles so that you can present to them in a way that they're going to be most receptive. So let's get back to this. How does AI KnowledgeNet deliver 1,000 prioritized warm referrals in 10 business days? First, we create that relationship brain, just like we were talking earlier. It takes 1 day to do that. And then you provide us your ideal customer profile. And then we use AI to search through 280 million contacts, leveraging your brain and your ideal customer profile. And we score every contact and we deliver to you, again, in 10 business days, 1,000 of them prioritized, each with a warm introduction. So this is an example where Annie was looking to grow her business in the fintech industry. We randomly selected 44 fintech companies and 1,200 contacts. And Annie had connections at 34 of those companies, 77%, and 619 connections overall, 51%. And she was highly connected to 27% of them. And so for all of these highly connected and connected contacts, we provide in great detail how can she get a referral to someone that she's trying to meet. So in this example, she would be trying to meet Charles Barker from Aperture. She has a relationship with Becky. Becky has a relationship with Charles. Can she please give an introduction? And so we provide in great detail here how everyone's connected. So at the start, Annie and Becky detail about them. They've had 4 meetings, the most recent in September. They've had 12 email exchanges, also the most recent in September. And they connected on LinkedIn in September. So they know each other. And Becky and Charles, a little bit about them, they both worked at the same company in the same department at the same time, and they also connected on LinkedIn. So Becky knows Charles. Annie can click a button that you'll see here in the demo asking Becky to introduce her to Charles. This is how we deliver what we call AI lead intelligence. And we know that delivering results is important to you and growing your business is important to you. We have customers in every corner of the United States we provide you the contact information so you can ask them about their experience. We also have case studies like this one with John Scaff, that in 4 months, they closed a pipeline worth 14 million in revenue, and it all started with KnowledgeNet. So our pricing for KnowledgeNet is based on each user that's using it, but we also have a special offer that includes the AI lead intelligence. It includes the AI lead intelligence really at no charge, because for $1,000 a year, you would have the 1,000 prioritized leads upfront and then licensing for 2 outside salespeople for 12 months and 6 passive licenses, people on your team like customer service or the leadership team that has customer relationships, they would be added as well. So that there's more nodes on the network so you can leverage that network further for more sales. If you're on the call today and you're a solopreneur and you have the needs for growing your business, you could start with KnowledgeNet, a subscription fee of $30 per user per month, and you can cancel at any time. It's just a subscription. There's no contract. If you have a larger team, then you can expand the pricing that I offered earlier to adding more users on a monthly basis or annual basis, and then you get a discount. So let me show you a quick demonstration. Let's say, for example, I work for a plastic extrusion company and I'm looking for prospects. I'm looking for gutter companies to sell my plastic gutters to. So if I start from a web page like Nationwide Gutter and I launch the KnowledgeNet Chrome extension, I can see that unlike the previous example, no one in my company has ever contacted or connected with anyone at Nationwide Gutter. But I want to show you here that we have a connection path. Joe English is 2 degrees of separation from Renee Grossman. That's what I want. I'm looking for a connection. And so if I click this line here, this row, I can see exactly how Joe and I are connected. We've had 7 meetings and 96 emails, and Joe connected to Renee on LinkedIn in 2021. Renee is the founder of Nationwide Gutter, exactly the type of person I'm looking to meet. So I click this blue button here where it says write intro email, and it packages up this relationship intelligence asking Joe to please connect me with Renee. If I close this box here and I go to the information tab for Renee, I'm able to unlock his cell phone number, which I'm not going to show here on a national webinar. I can access his personality profile. So if Joe set up that meeting for me, now I can prepare for the meeting by understanding how Renee thinks and what his personality is so that I can present to him in a way that he's going to be most receptive. You can see what motivates him and drains him, communication style, how we should work together, and recommended do's and don'ts. If I close this box here and I don't have a connection path, I can still write Renee a compelling email, something that's highly personalized coming from me, who I am, what my role is, what my company does. When I click next, what Renee's role is and what his company does. And then because I unlock the personality intelligence, when I click next, it combines these three things and creates an email introducing myself to Renee and the value that we can provide his company. Because I've had these interchanges, I'm ready to add Renee to my CRM. I click a button. The sales team will be so thankful that they never have to create another account or contact in the CRM because KnowledgeNet can do that automatically. If I click on the company here and the information tab, I can see information about the company. I can access all of the employees of the company and their email addresses and phone numbers, just like we did with Renee. And because I'm looking for companies similar, I could use AI to find similar companies. When I click this row, it creates 10 companies similar to Nationwide Gutter. It's leveraging ChatGPT. It packaged up everything about Nationwide Gutter into a custom prompt and asked ChatGPT, and ChatGPT returned this. It's embedded in KnowledgeNet. I could say, give me 10 more, and it would give me 10 more. But the other thing I can do is search in KnowledgeNet using filters that match my ideal customer profile. So if I'm searching for companies, I can look through there at different fields. I put in here gutters in the keyword, and I found 3,293 companies that I can pursue. And if I'm searching for people, I can use, again, search filters that match my ideal customer profile. I can search for title, geography, all these different areas, and find contacts by searching through 270 million people. Thank you very much for giving me an opportunity to present and provide an overview of KnowledgeNet. So thank you very much for letting me have an opportunity to provide you an overview and demonstration of KnowledgeNet. Alan, I'll turn it back over to you now.
And that's really powerful stuff. And I hope the participants on the webinar saw how quickly some tools such as this can add a tremendous amount of velocity. And I'll go back to what I said in the beginning. It doesn't replace selling skills. It just helps you be quicker and more effective and more efficient of talking to the people that you want to talk to, right? They're all suspects until you qualify them to become prospects. How can you do that more quickly? And how can you stand out amongst the crowd? And so anyways, just really powerful tool. I use it with several of my clients, and I can tell you some really quality stories of how it's added some velocity. Again, I want to go back and just recap a little bit about who I am and what I do. I touched on it in the beginning, but I'm not just a regular consultant. What I do when I work for my businesses that I work for, I become part of the fabric of the environment, and I focus in on the areas that we determine that their business has some gaps. So it starts with a variety of different kinds of sales assessments, depending on the situations that exist. We put together a detailed scope of work out of the offerings that I can bring value in. And we get down to business, and I spend quality time. And even though I might be fractional for the business that I work for, I can tell you that I still, with 30 plus years of experience, in one day can give their sales organization more attention than they might be giving them in a whole week. Now, that's not true with every organization. And so those organizations have already figured out they don't match my ICP. That's okay. I'm going to search the ones I do. One of the newer offerings that the team of Sales Xceleration has put together is called Sales Framework. And really what it's done is it's taken a lot more structure and added it to those services that I talked about earlier that we deliver. And it's broken up in a little bit different structure, a little bit different format, and it spreads over a longer period of time. So it starts off by a groundbreaking day. You know, that's the foundational day where we spend quality time together. It's actually 2 different days. We really dig into doing a very detailed sales assessment of an organization. We identify sales gaps that exist. We look at the sales responsibility chart. What do they have for salespeople? Are the right seats in the right butts in the right seats, or do they lack some of the key components of having a structured sales organization? We do a deep dive into the sales or into the talent map and skills assessment of the existing sellers. We keep that information handy if they don't have, and we're going to be building more of a sales team because it really does help map back into the creation of the job descriptions that we're looking for and that ideal candidate profile that we work on building. And then we start to put together a detailed sales blueprint, 1, 3, and 10-year sales goals, as well as helping them put together scorecards, as well as helping them understand what a sales meeting should look like, including detailed agendas. And then we'll help figure out what their 30-day rocks or goals are that they're looking to uncover. And then we get into the sales blueprint, which is a lot more detailed in day 2, where we really dig into what we talked about earlier, that ideal client profile, buyer personas, what is your value proposition, and guiding sales principles that your business is going to follow, and what's your competitive positioning in the marketplace, and then help build some sales stories. So we're really talking about architecting and helping build with our clients the structure that they need to have in place that can stand on its own. And then it moves off into other components, quarterly meetings, where we come back and spend time on a quarterly basis reviewing sales performance against their scorecards. How are they progressing on the sales gaps that were identified? And then we get into annual planning. So it's a structured format that helps us put process, procedures, strategies in place that's a scalable sales model moving forward for those businesses that have internal resources that can do some of the work. A little bit different than the first description I was giving you, where they might not have an internal resource to lead the team. And that's where I come in on the sales management engagement. So Sales Framework's a new offering that's getting a lot of traction. It opens up a different ideal client for us. So thank you, Ben, for giving me a chance to share that also.
Absolutely. Thank you, Alan. So let me see if there's any questions, and then I'll get us off back on camera. I do see one question here of how long does it take to get started using KnowledgeNet? And the answer is that in less than 5 minutes, we can create a KnowledgeNet organization for you and invite your users. Your users can start using KnowledgeNet instantly to get contact information from 280 million contacts. And in just a couple of minutes, they can sync their emails and their LinkedIn. So it starts building that relationship brain. And because we live where they work, there's little to no training that's required, even though we do provide the onboarding. So let me stop sharing and seeing if there's any additional questions.
And I see one other question there. You talked earlier about how you using the passive license, you can go back and gain a year's worth of past knowledge out of the email. For those clients that maybe have somebody that doesn't work with the organization anymore or has a lot of content in their email, can you go back further?
Yes. In fact, we've had business owners that want to go back 10 years. And so there's a charge for that per mailbox, but incredible data. Some people have been using their email as their CRM. And so extracting all that information is super valuable for them.
I'll give a really quick story. I have a client I work with. They hired a new seller. It's the first time they're entering into some structured sales process and procedure, salesperson. But be real, the guy just started for the company. He has no sales history in his email. He has no historical data. But we were able to take 21 years of knowledge and go back 10 years in the email of other stakeholders in the organization to help determine where they were passed. So more time, we can talk a lot more about it when the opportunity presents itself. But that difference between passive and active license is very powerful.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Well, I don't think there's any other questions. I don't see any. So now it's time to say thanks everybody for joining our webinar today. If you have questions or want to follow up with Alan for the services that he provides and the resources that he has, we'll provide you his contact information. And then if you'd like to get started with KnowledgeNet, please reach out to me and be happy to get you started right away. Alan, any last thoughts?
No, thank you. I know people's lives are busy, and I appreciate those that joined us today for taking time out of their busy schedule. Hopefully you got value out of it. Feel free to contact either Ben or myself. Love to have a conversation, see if we can help provide value to you. Thank you, Ben.
Thanks, everybody. Thank you, Alan. Bye-bye.
Take care.